Welcome, Rotarians and guests, to the Norman Rotary Club weekly meeting on this beautiful Thursday, January 23rd, 2025. We start our meetings with a moment of reflection. Please join me in a moment of silent prayer or reflection of your own. Thank you. Thank you. We have Jenny that will start us with the flag salute, and Jim will lead us in the four-way test.
Please join me in the
I
Pledge of Allegiance.
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Is it
The truth is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? And will it be beneficial to all concerned?
You may be seated. Okay, Stephen Frank is going to introduce our guest.
Becky, I'm going to have you stand right back up. We have a visitor from Purcell, a Rotarian, past president, and a couple other clubs as well. Say hi to Becky. You want to make your announcement
I'd
now?
like to do that real
Okay,
quick.
we're going to do it later. Excellent. Say hi, Becky. Hopper, where are you?
My guest today is Austin Carroll. He's with Midwest Bank, our private banking group. Please welcome Austin.
And Miss Teresa.
All right, I get to introduce our students of the month, and we have Jesse Wong from Norman High School and Jamie Coranda from Norman North. And they're just going to tell us a little bit about what schools they're looking at and what career they want to maybe go into. And I'll start with Jesse first.
Hi, I'm Jessie. I'm a senior at Norman High. As of right now, I don't know where I'm going to college yet, but I plan on studying neuroscience and minoring in public health and going to med school and hopefully become a pediatrician.
Hi, I'm Jamie Coranda. I'm planning on going to the University of Oklahoma to study or major in early childhood development and minor in Spanish. And I'm planning on being a first or kindergarten teacher, hopefully also entering into childhood ministry, so children's ministry at a church.
Okay, thank you very much. Quote of the day: don't be so busy planning tomorrow that you forget to enjoy today. With that, Stephen Crandall, would you like to make an announcement about after hours?
Yes, tonight, after hours, we're going to the new Coach's Corner, which is the old Penny Hill, which is the old. I don't know how many concepts have been there. What? That I don't remember when it was the Circle K. I don't remember that. Berry Road and Lindsay. So 5 o'clock after hours, be there. No program, just fellowship and fun. See you there.
Thank you. Jennifer Beckett. Come on. Count up.
Okay, thank you. Now, Kyle, come on. Just kidding. All right, on everyone's table, you will see a flyer about a free CPR course that Norman Regional Hospital is offering on Saturday, February 22nd. There will be 3 classes at 10, noon, and 2 o'clock. There's a link on there. I'm happy to email it out, but it is a free CPR course, not certified, but if you just want a little refresher or know someone who might need it, please sign up, and it's at the newly remodeled Fabulous Education Center on the Porter campus. So y'all have signed up just to come see the lots of education. Okay. Thank you very much.
Will you pass that over to Becky from the Purcell Club?
Okay, well, I did get across the river and come over here and to tell you guys about our fundraiser. It's next Wednesday, it's our chili lunch. Tickets are $10. For anybody in this room, just tell them that Becky said, because at the door it's usually 12.
We will have the baskets that are awesome. I don't know how many people bid on the baskets last year, but they're full of all kinds of goodies, and it would be great for your sweetheart for Valentine's Day. So we hope to see you. I've got tickets on me if you want to buy any today. They're $10, and it's next week. I believe it's from like 11 to 2. Thank you.
Several of us went down last year. Kyle, are we doing that again? Carly, are we doing that again, or are we going together?
Are we going together?
I mean, we went last year together.
I'd love for South Chili. Get it in, it's great. Let's do it.
Okay, so if anybody wants to ride together, you can also do that. It's super fun and it's great to support another club too, so. Craig, you're up.
Okay, two things.
Wonderful news.
One, I go in order, chronological order. Next week we're giving away bikes. So tomorrow I'll be sending an email out to everyone about giving away bikes. Then on February the 14th and 15th, yes, that's Valentine's Day, we are having a book fair at Barnes & Noble. So I'll also be sending out a sign sheet to help us to man that those 2 days. So,
Can you tell us a little bit more about the book fair? We have a lot of new members.
Okay, what the book fair, what we do is basically we hand out a bookmark or
Come on.
okay, and to everybody that comes in, that's all you have to do is say, tell them that we're having a fundraiser for Barnes & Noble Book Fair, Barnes & Noble Day. And if they give that bookmark to the cashier when they check out, it doesn't cost them anything, then we get a portion of the proceeds. Basically, and what we do is we get gift cards, and then we use the gift cards to buy the gift cards. That sounds weird, but that's what we do. And the reason for that is because when we buy gift cards, we get 15% of the sales if they're over a certain dollar amount, whereas if we got a check, it'd be 10% of the sales. So it's pretty easy, it's indoors, most people are fine giving it, and again, it doesn't cost them. Some people just want to walk on by. That happens to be, a lot of people do say they probably have to pay 1 or 2% of the time. People really want to do it. It's no big deal, it's pretty easy, and we'll be there all day, and they're open on Friday and Saturday. And supposedly, the reason we're doing Valentine's Day is because they said that's a good sales day. So,
Wonderful. Thank you so much for getting that arranged. There was a change in management, and Craig has been working diligently behind the scenes to try to get us in this year. That's why we haven't done one yet for club members that have been here for a while. So it's very exciting that we got that secured. So thank you so much for all your hard work on those programs, Craig. With no further ado, I'll have Bill Bloom come up, please, sir.
Would my only high school classmate please come up here? That's you, Andy. Do you not remember me? Go ahead.
Oh, no. I just remember you made the top half of the class possible. Think about it, you get it later.
Okay. It's always a great honor to give a Paul Harris Fellow to a Rotarian, because that means there's money that has gone to the Rotary Foundation to do something better for the world. And because there are new members, let me tell you a little bit about how that works. Half the money goes to international projects, half goes to local projects in the district. And our board now is committed to doing more in that local project district, so you're going to hear more about that. But internationally, the biggie is this disease prevention and treatment, and that's where the polio goes into. In the late 80s, we made a commitment to try to eliminate polio from the world. It's such a crippling disease, it's terrible, and we're 99.9% there. Afghanistan and Pakistan are slowing us down. One slipped into Gaza this year, so it's just not done. So every bit every time somebody contributes to the foundation like you have, Andy, some of that goes to polio, some of it goes to other things. So Andy's a Paul Harris +3. That's 4 times he's done this. So I want to thank you and congratulate you on your
Mona said I was too happy today, and I said, can never be too happy, I'm so happy to be at Rotary. She said, I think something's up. Last time I was just giggly, maybe something was up, but I promise this time, Mona, it's nothing for you. I'm just happy to be here. Okay, with no further ado, I'm also happy for our speaker today, so if I can have Teresa come up and introduce our guest speaker, I'd appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, I am excited to introduce Amy Kessler, and I want to find out more about her buddy Kobe too. So you may have seen Kobe socializing and networking. That is Amy's. I don't think he's a dog, but I think he's a higher level of being. But I met Amy, I guess a couple of months ago, and she helped me through her business connect with an executive coach, and it's been an amazing experience. So, and I think maybe in the future we might do a positive intelligence presentation as well. But today is about strengths, and Amy has an uncanny ability to connect with her audience. She has over 30 years of in business experience presenting to and educating clients, and she helps people figure out how to thrive as leaders. She spent most of her career in advertising, helping Fortune 200 companies market to U.S. Hispanics. She later found her own company, Potentia Coaches, a source for global strengths-based leadership and executive coaches. And let's welcome Amy. I totally think we're more than one clap, you guys.
All right. You guys are so lucky and blessed to have each other. I mean, this is a really cool group. So congrats on that. I'd like to walk around a little bit.
You can take the mic off if you want.
Okay.
Is that helpful? Yeah.
Yeah. Do that. To see how many things I can do at once. All right. Actually, I'm not sure I can. That may be too many things at once. Okay. All right. Okay. So you already know a little bit about me. The main things that I want you to know are, one, I believe we are here to help others. You guys already know this, right? But that how we help, the support that we offer, it's different for each of us because we are all so different. And we have different strengths and different gifts. And I believe one of the easiest ways we can bless someone else is by introducing them to someone who might be a good connection for them, just like Teresa did for me, introducing me to Stephen, and I'm here. So really grateful for that. This is my first time at a Rotary meeting, so cool. I'm very impressed. So I know everybody wants to know more about Kobe, and that's what we're going to skip to. So this is how Kobe came into my life. Kobe was different. This was a year ago. Kobe was living with a different family in Duncan, Oklahoma, and he had just turned 2, and his owners opened the door of their apartment and let him out to go potty, which was the normal thing. Unfortunately, he got hit by a car in early January of last year, and so some neighbors there came to the door of his family and knocked on it and said, "Hey, I think your dog's in the street over here." And so they went and got him and ran him into the vet, you know, he had punctured lungs. He also just hadn't been well. Poodles are a lot, you guys. He had not been well kept. He had double ear infections. He was horribly matted. He was behind on his vaccines. I mean, just things, right? And his family, I have so much heart for people who are going through things, because it happens, right? But it was clear that the vet could not save his leg. And so it was going to cost a lot of money, and his owners didn't know what to do other than euthanize him. And And so, and I get a little choked up when I think about that, because I just can't imagine life without Kobe. But the vet said, I tell you what, why don't you surrender him to me, and I will fix him all up, get him repaired, and we'll find him a new home. So he did that, all that happened, and then through the magic of Facebook and social media, the vet had posted the pictures that you see on the upper left there, and my daughter saw the post. And we had just had an elderly dog that we had, it's a lot, and that dog was a poodle as well, and love the breed, but we were kind of ready to have a rest from taking care of an animal. And anyway, so my daughter sent me that post, and I was like, oh, good Lord. Okay, so I called the vet, had a conversation with him about it. I called a friend who has an amputee dog to get the lowdown on that. He's like, I don't know. I didn't know at the time what that would entail. So anyway, we went down to Duncan to go visit, to meet Kobe. And I told my husband on the way there, we've never met a dog we didn't like. So unless Kobe doesn't like us, we'll be coming home with a dog today. So he was like, yeah, you're right. I hadn't thought about it that way, but you're right. So the picture of me and him in the top left there, or right, I'm not sure. Anyway, top corner is us in the car on the way back to Edmond, Oklahoma. So anyway, he just, from the beginning, he just proved himself to be so remarkable and has such an amazing mindset. And, I'm in the coaching world. I'm in leadership development, and I was like, you need to be coming with me to do these talks, buddy. Like, this is amazing. So really, what he's shown me is that he is just a lovely daily reminder that we get to choose to be the best version of ourselves. And he also makes me think about, we get to choose what we're focusing on, right? We're getting to think about and decide what is good and what is bad, right? So, moving on to a similar but different topic, I wanted to call attention to really judging and sabotaging thoughts. We all have them. And this slide represents the many voices of judgment that really live in our collective heads. Some of the voices may be louder than others for some of us because, again, we're all different. But these nasty voices sabotage our relationship with ourselves, how we talk to ourselves, how we think about ourselves, but also our relationships with others. And when we're thinking sabotaging thoughts, they ignite our fears, and fear keeps us stuck. So when that happens, it's just like a snowball effect, right? It leads to anxiety and depression, and it can really spin out of control if we're not on it and realizing what's happening, paying attention. So here's a little personal story. I spent most of my life beating myself up because I was not more disciplined and more focused. Probably the reason why I latched on to those two things, because it's true, A, I do struggle in those areas, but B, probably my well-meaning parents pointed that out to me. They saw these things that I felt like I needed to be better at or more of or whatever, and probably reinforced that, right? And that's okay. But I spent most of my life really frustrated by this, because it didn't matter how hard I tried, just couldn't quite get more disciplined and more focused. And then the sabotaging thoughts started. What is wrong with me? Look at so-and-so. Look how they're amazing. And look at me. I can't finish a project. All these things, those awful thoughts that go through one's head when you're focusing on what's wrong, right? It wasn't until I learned what I'm about to share with you that my sabotaging thoughts began to evaporate. and I finally felt free to be who I was created to be. So, little history on Clifton Strengths. This is what I got turned on to about 10 or so years ago. About 60 years ago, Don Clifton was an American psychologist, and he grew frustrated by the body of work in his psychology field. Because all that body of work out there focused on what's wrong with people rather than what's right with them. So he conducted tons of research, and he identified 34 dominant talent themes, strengths, I like to call them superpowers, that super successful, productive, and fulfilled leaders possess. And he ended up creating an online assessment called StrengthsFinder, and then it was later rebranded to Clifton Strengths. You are unique. The odds of someone having the same top 5 strengths as you is 1 in 33 million. Okay, so remember, there's 34 strengths. The odds of someone having the same top 5 as you is 1 in 33 million. That's remarkable, right? So a little data about Clifton Strengths and the relevance of that. People know that the Clifton Strengths assessment is essential for empowering people to set and achieve their goals and accomplish great things. People who know and use their Clifton Strengths are 6 times more likely to be engaged at work, about 8% more productive in their role, 3 times more likely to have an excellent quality of life, and 6 times more likely to do what they do best every day, right? Because of that awareness, we're focusing on what we do well, not what we don't do well, like my discipline and focus, right? So I'd like you to consider how these statistics would translate to your team, to your partners, your situation, how that would translate to your team's bottom line. So what are your superpowers? Who's taken the Clifton Strengths assessment here? Perfect, awesome, good, okay, wonderful, thank you for sharing that. So, your superpowers are your secret sauce. They're your unique recipe for success, and it's really the interests and activities that you do that energize you rather than deplete you, and it's different for all of us. The value you bring to your team and what people can count on you for, and the energy and vibe even that you bring to a room. People pick up on you. They feel you. So I'm going to take you through there's 34, and I've talked about the top 5. I'll take you through the significance of the top 5. Oops. Uh-oh. Did I hit a button? Sorry, Liz.
There's the face. You chose your attitude. Look at you.
It's a choice. Thank you for that. So, who can remember how many total strengths that Don Clifton identified?
34.
Good. So your top 5 are the lens that you use to see the world. That's the significance of those. They come naturally. They're like your mother tongue. And your combination of your top 5 to 10 is how like 1 through 10 is how you show up. They're your way of being. And we tend to think that our top strengths are not special because they come so easily. We tend to kind of discount them and not value them. And in relationships, interestingly, it's hard to understand that other people don't see what I see because it's so obvious, right? So your secondary strengths, the numbers 6 through 15 or so, are like your second language. We can pull them up and use them as needed without thinking about it too much. And then those things at the bottom of our list, numbers 23 through 34, our talent things we'll just never be great at. Well, guess where discipline and focus are for me? Down at the bottom. It was so freeing when I took this assessment, and that's when it just hit me. Oh my gosh, the weight of the world lifted off my shoulders. Now, do I need to be disciplined sometimes? Absolutely. Do I need to be focused sometimes? Absolutely. But because I know these things about myself, I have figured out ways to help myself be that way. Either by partnering with somebody who has high executing strengths, which we'll get into. Both of those are executing strengths, discipline and focus. I'm writing a book right now, and my book writing partner, I could tell that she's super disciplined. And I went to her and said, hey, would you mind like being accountability partners with me? Because I could really use your discipline and lean into that. And she said, sure. So for me, it's that relationship, because I'm a relationship builder. That's where my strengths are. It just works out great. It's a wonderful partnership. So, and those strengths at the bottom of our list, those are really our blind spot. Sometimes we don't see them at all. And sometimes we can access them, but when we do, it is exhausting, it's depleting, and it's unsatisfying. Any questions? Okay. All right, so I've alluded a little bit to the different domains of constraints, and there's really two categories. There's task-oriented and relational, and then within that, there are 2 tasks and 2 relational. They are color-coded. Each domain is color-coded. Strategic thinking is green, executing is purple, influencing is orange, and relationship building is blue. And each domain has similar aspects that they contribute. They also have similar needs. Now, when I say needs, what do we mean by that? What that means is that our needs through our strengths are what we require to be at our best and to feel motivated and energized. Okay? Our strengths inform the conditions under which we do our very best work, and we feel most fulfilled as well. And when we create conditions for our strengths needs to be met, we more easily show up at our best and generally feel confident as we do. If our needs go unmet, so our strengths needs, if they go unmet, we tend to try to resolve the situation subconsciously, and we likely do so in ineffective ways for ourselves and others. Okay, so moving on to each domain specifically. So strategic thinking strengths, and for those of you who have done the assessment, I'm going to ask you if you would to maybe just like snap your fingers if you're recognizing any of these strengths in your top 5 or 10 even. Yeah, perfect. Just like that. So, Kyle, does that mean you're jumping right in saying, yes, I'm a strategic thinker?
Well, I took it, actually strategic is my number 1.
Oh, see, there you go. You're like, yeah, this is all me right here. Okay, perfect. So people with strategic thinking may see what's possible. They tend to provide direction or information. They offer ideas. And to be at their best, they need to be able to do things their way, to have permission to think outside the box. They need structure, and they need information. They need to be given information, and often the backstory. So the strategic thinking strengths are analytical. If this is one of yours, please snap your fingers. Analytical. Context. And I'll tell you really quickly okay, so it all, right, all fits together. At work, he works in software. And so oftentimes that's very much moving forward, looking forward. Well, he wants to know the backstory. What problem is this software solving, first of all? And if we're trying to fix a bug or something, how do we get where we are today? Because he needs that information to know how to move forward. It's very interesting. The next is futuristic. Ideation. Perfect. We have a futuristic or ideation? Okay, wonderful. Input.
Lack of ideation.
People who have ideation high are just full of ideas. They're not all actionable or right, but just full of ideas. They're your idea people. And they're constantly firing. I don't have ideation really high, but people who have ideation, I'm told, a lot of times will get in bed at night and can't go to sleep because the ideas start flowing. Or they'll log up during the night and the ideas start and they can't get back to sleep. So that's yeah. Thank you for asking that. Input, I have input high, so I'll snap there. Intellection, learner as well, very good, and strategic. Kyle already told us he has strategic high. Okay. So, any questions on that before we move on? We have a lot of time. But okay, so executing strengths, again, they're task-oriented. But what they bring are dealing in concrete reality, the details, the process. They may say things like the devil is in the details. They're goal-oriented. They may provide structure to chaos. And what they need, very similar, practical application, a step-by-step guide. They need clear goals. They can't move forward without clarity, right? They can't, murkiness doesn't work. Systems, procedures, rules. And those strengths are achiever, wonderful, arranger, believe, wow, consistency, deliberative. Deliberative is my number 34. People who have deliberative high see kind of danger everywhere. It's a great. It's great. I mean, that's a wonderful. It's a wonderful strength. People, I need those people in my life because it is my very last one. I just don't. I'm not wired that way to see those things. Next is discipline. Of course, we all know I don't have that high. And focus, again, no. Responsibility, wonderful. And restorative, which is my first executing strength at number 10. So, all right. Next, we're moving on to influencing strengths. Again, it's through a relationship building strength. People who have influencing bring persuasiveness, igniting, engaging, energizing. They're often charismatic. And what they need is verbal processing, a connection to a cause, validation, and energy. And if there's not energy, they tend to bring the energy. It's very interesting. So going through that list of strengths, activator, awesome. Command, communication, competition, maximizer, self-assurance, significance, and woo. Yeah, perfect. I got friends here. Real quick. I'll tell you really quickly, this out of the 4 domains, this is the most rare of the 4. Influencing strengths are rarer, so they're oftentimes misunderstood, which is interesting. People tend to not get us because of that. So that's just interesting. It's an interesting thing to keep in mind. Okay, so moving on to the relationship building strengths. Those who are exceptionally talented at building relationships tend to bring connection, hospitality, listening skills, and acceptance. And very similarly, they need authenticity, encouragement, to be deeply heard, and to be accepted. So adaptability, developer, connectedness, got one back there, empathy, harmony, includer, individualization, positivity, and relator. Wonderful. You guys are good. You follow directions well. Okay. So the top 5 most common strengths globally, I think it's interesting to look at trends. The most common strengths globally are achiever, number 1. It's the most common. You'll find people with achiever. Again, it's an executing strength. Achievers have a lot of stamina. They work hard and they get great satisfaction from being busy and productive. They'll often put things on their list just so they can mark it off their list. Yeah. Responsibility is another common one. It's an executing strength, and people who have responsibility take psychological ownership of what they say they will do. They are committed to stable values like honesty and loyalty. And they're wonderful to partner with, you guys. People have, you know you can count on them to get what they said they'd do to get it done. Relator, relationship building. They enjoy close relationships with others, deep satisfaction in working hard with friends toward a goal. And strategic thinking, create options for a way forward. Quickly spot relevant patterns and issues. And then finally, learner, another strategic thinking strength. And they desire to learn and to continuously improve. The process of learning is what's thrilling, and rather than the outcome. Okay, so that's what's exciting. Okay, so how much time do I have?
7 minutes.
Okay.
Total.
Let's skip that.
I said I'd give a warning, so I gave a warning.
No, I appreciate that. Okay, so over 34 million have taken the Clifton Strengths Assessment worldwide, and this is where you can pull out your phone. If you haven't taken the assessment, use your phone to scan this QR code, and that link will take you directly to the Gallup website, where you can purchase your code and take the strengths assessment. That is no way, I don't work for Gallup, it's not connected to me, I just happen to be a raving fan of this work. The top 5 is a good place to start, $25, or you can get all 34, which I think is ideal, because then you get that information about what's at the bottom of your list and may feel free, like I did, to let some of that stuff go, and that's about 60.
You get the top 5 for free, right? Is the top 5 free?
It's 25.
Oh, okay.
It's 25. Okay. So it's not enough to have awareness. The goal is in the action we take and what we do with the information. A strength is a talent that you've invested in to the point you consistently provide near perfect performance. A talent is the way you show up without thinking about it much. Remember, so like pumping iron, you will strengthen your talent muscles with repetition and consistency by investing in them, right? Through practice, developing skills, educating yourself, and then repeat. We're coming to the end, I promise. Okay, so you can't develop muscles you don't have. Don Clifton said it best, your weaknesses will never develop while your strengths will develop infinitely. So Kobe and I really want you to pause and consider the choices that you make, that we all make. Where are we putting our focus and energy? Are we putting it on our perceived deficits or our natural talents, our insecurities, or new ways of doing things and innovation? Are feeling stuck, not feeling enough, or feeling free to be confidently you? Or inaction, the status quo, and staying where we are, or investing in who you extraordinarily were created to be. So my input wants to leave you with resources. Take a picture of this if you want. I won't go through all of these. There's social media options, there's wonderful books. When you take the Clifton Strengths Assessment, review that report often. Once a month, once a quarter, something. Set something, because it's great to go back and review it. There's podcasts, YouTube channels, or you can partner with a strengths-based coach. And I want to offer you guys 3 sessions for the price of one, so $300 with Anna B. She's one of my coaches in South Africa. She holds the highest coaching credentials that you can get through the gold standard, the International Coaching Federation. And I'd love to help you with that. So the reason we can do this is because the South African rand is not very strong right now against the US dollar. So Anna B still gets what she wants, but we can bring an amazing price to people who attend my talks. So there you go. And then I want you to repeat after me, because this is really our mantra for 2025. I know who I am.
I know who I am.
I know who I am not.
I know who I am not.
And both are okay.
And both are okay.
There you go. Perfect. Okay, so I'll take your questions in a minute if we have time. But I want you to know how much I appreciate you guys today, and I would love to be a resource for you, your groups, for coaching, for speaking. I just love to get together for coffee. If you want to do that, I'd love to do that. If you want to talk about your strengths, I'd love to do that. That's just super fun for me too. On the left is my Calendly link, and on the right, that QR code takes you to my LinkedIn profile. So let's connect there. All right.
Nothing like having 2 microphones go out on speaker in one day. Super fun. So I'm just going to talk really loud and tell everyone, thank you so much for coming. We enjoyed having our guest today. Becky, thank you for joining us from the Purcell Club. I know Kyle and I will be down there, and others in our club might be able to go too. Austin, thank you for coming today. We're welcome you to come back anytime. Jenny and, sorry, I don't know, I wrote that. Jenny and Jamie, sorry, I could not get that out. Jesse and Jamie, thank you for both coming. Thank you again for being here. And Amy, of course, thank you, and Kobe for coming. We enjoyed having you so much. Sorry about the microphone problems. I promise we have batteries. Can't tell that today, though. Go out and be the coffee bean, and somebody ring us out. Oh, that was dull. You gotta ring it. Ring it.
You guys flip on this right here.